Hello, I'm Ashley. Today I just kind of wanted to share my yoga and some moves that I do. And mostly it's like stretches and it just helps me bring me into my body. So I just wanted to share that with you. And I feel like if I can do this, anyone can do it. I started off really simple, so I'm going to I'm actually going to share the YouTube video. I think it's Yoga with Adriene is what I started with. It's like a 5-minute yoga routine in the morning because that's how I started. So it was like 5 minutes, these simple yoga moves, these techniques, and then I just built from there. So I have not been in shape very much of my life, and so this is kind of like brand new for me, and it really challenged my body, and I think that's what I like the most about it. It helped me realize my strength, my own personal strength, and like I said, every time it's kind of like, I want to use the term like leveling up, like I go to another level or I need more of a challenge, so I kind of get in between, and sometimes the pain can be unbearable, especially when I first started to begin, because like I said, I was really out of shape and my body was just out of whack. So I was using muscles that I haven't used in a really long time. I was bending parts of my body that I had never bent ever, I don't think. And so like I said, the pain could get very, very unbearable. So if you are starting off and this is just a tip that I have that I personally use that helps me is I do, it's like I can't even say it. I can't even say it because there's like so much shame around it that it just, but I'm being guided to share this. So I do smoke a little bit of marijuana, just a little bit to, one, it really helps me get out of my mind. And when I am high, it's like, it's as if my higher self comes into my body, and then my higher self is able to teach me, because I become very in tune to my senses. That's what marijuana does for me. I feel like it's all about how you use it, and I feel like it's a tool, and it's like a medicine, and I prefer to use that over any kind of medicine that I would get like from like anxiety, like Xanax or something. I would prefer to like use something that comes from the earth and was made from the earth to relieve my anxiety than I would to take something that was like man-made from like a pill. So that's just it really helps alleviate, not really alleviate, but it helps me work through the pain, especially when I'm moving up to another level. So I don't always use this, but it does help me when the pain is really unbearable and I'm learning something new and my body's being stretched to another limit. And so like I said, it helps me get out of my head. It brings me into my body, especially, I don't know if this affects anything, but I'm an air sign, and my mind is it's my favorite thing about me, but it's also my worst enemy. And so that really helps calm my mind. It helps me get out of my head, and it helps me get into my body. And then, like I said, it helps teach me. My higher self teaches me, like, to do a certain move or to bend a certain way or to breathe into it. It just really helps me stay in tune to my body. So I'm not going to be doing that today because I'm just going to be teaching, and it really helps me stay focused. So I'm going to be sharing some moves and I'm going to be talking, so I'm not going to do that, but it is a tip, and honestly it does help me. So, and there's no shame, just don't be ashamed. There's just so much shame in our culture and our society when it comes to, marijuana, and it should not be shame. That's all I'm saying. And so, like I said, this is really out of my comfort zone to like share these things, but this is honestly what I do, and it helps me a lot. So it helps me stay grounded in the moment. It also helps me slow down, because sometimes I'm just like, I want to rush forward, but it's like my body's really telling me to just slow down, be in my body, go inward is what I'm being asked to do right now. So I just kind of wanted to share what I do, and I'm going to kind of like, I don't want to make it too long, but I usually spend about, if I really take my time, I also like to incorporate meditation during different aspects of my yoga practice, and so I'll try to keep it like fairly short and just kind of go over the moves. I repeat some mantras. So okay, I guess I'm just gonna go ahead and get started. I like to start standing up, and I just stretch, and I like to use the wall. It's really easy, So I just like start out stretching. You can like really feel this in my hips and my arms and my shoulders. Just helps like loosen me up. I'm gonna switch to the other side. I kind of just, I don't always count. Sometimes I just go off what I'm feeling in my body. So until the stretch feels good. And sometimes, like I know for me, my right side is a little bit more like tight, a little bit more. I like twisted my ankle, and it kind of twisted my whole hip, and so I'm a little bit weaker on my right side. So I try to like, sometimes I have to be a little bit easier on this side of my body. So, and then this is my other favorite move. I'm gonna turn around, but this really helps open up my whole shoulders, and it's like a heart opening, and it helps open up my whole back. It helps my lower back. I always had a lot of lower back pain, especially when I first started to do yoga. It was excruciating pain. And so my lower back has gotten so much stronger, and I'm just a lot more flexible, and that really helped me with my meditation, because sitting in a meditation pose, especially for Americans, and we're just not used to sitting in that pose, like being up straight and our spine being straight, and it can hurt because we just have to retrain our muscles to sit like that. So when we are in that meditation pose, it can get very uncomfortable. It's about learning to breathe into the pain, and also, like I said, this is why I use marijuana sometimes, is to just it helps me sit with the pain. The pain becomes bearable, and then I'm able to like restructure and my muscles, if that makes sense. So anyway, this is just a good stretch to open everything up. I just like to I'm like talking to the wall. So I was talking to the wall, but I like to just bring my chest forward as far as I can, but keep my hips back as far as I can, and that just helps really stretch out like my whole spine and my abdomen, my lower back. And then I just kind of like to shake my shoulders. This helps just loosen me up. I like to move my hips and move my body. This is really good. See, like anybody can do this. I really like to listen to music sometimes and just like move my body to the music, and because like some days I want to move a lot, and I want to like, some days I want my practice to be very like I'll even start dancing and stuff, you know, but sometimes I want it to be very still, or I'll go through, like when I'm standing up, I like to like move a lot and listen to music, but then once I move down to the ground in my lower poses, I guess you could call them, I like to be more concentrated and more in a meditative state, more focused on my body and how I'm feeling. So I just like to move and like stretch my arms out. So it's mostly just like a combination of, it's mostly stretching, but my body, like our bodies need to be stretched out every day. And then I like to, I'll finish this. This really helps me feel the stretch through my side and my hips and my shoulders. It feels kind of like pulling my hips kind of like out of their socket a little bit, which feels really good. And this is just something that, like, this is just a routine I made up for myself. I just do what works for me. So it's like you can incorporate anything you want, or anything that you feel your body needs. Like like I said, I have a lot of like lower back and like my hips. I'm really working on my hips because they can get really tight, and we store a lot of tension in our hips just from like sitting and walking. Just we carry a lot there, and especially women, we carry a lot of like sexual trauma, even if it's not from this lifetime, but other lifetimes, or if it's been carried through our DNA or like our ancestors, which a lot of us carry that. So it's important to like I said, that's why I like to shake the hips, kind of just get them loosened up and move them. And like I said, I'm working on my hips. They can get really tight. So then I like to do this little exercise where I breathe in. So breathe in, and I hold my shoulders tight, and I focus on my third eye. And I inhale. When I inhale acceptance, hold, exhale resistance. Inhale acceptance, exhale resistance. And the sigh, just let out a sigh as big as you can. And it just kind of helps like release this energy of resistance. So it's just like the most dramatic sigh you could make, just and that kind of just helps like bring you into the present moment and accept the here and now and release resistance to it. And that kind of helps bring you into a flow. All right, and then okay, so this is something that I've been working on too. My goal right now, and it feels like this has been my goal for a really long time, but I want to be able to do a back bend. And so I've been really working on my lower back. Like I said, I've been strengthening that, which comes with strengthening our core. So I've done a lot of ab workouts, and like they're 10 minutes on Fitness Blender, so super easy to just get done, and it really does help. So anyway, I'm using the wall to assist me. And that helps stretch out my hip flexors, I want to say, my abdomen. It really opens up my chest. It feels so good. It's like a heart opener, and so that just feels really good that I'm getting strong enough to do that and hold that pose. And yeah, so I'm really excited about that. And then what else? Sometimes I just kind of go with what I'm feeling. I'm gonna move this out a little bit actually. So I also like to do this, and I call this the windmill. Just because it makes me feel like one, but this really helps me stretch out my hips again and my sides. It also is like good range of motion for my shoulders. And I reverse it. And I like to just spread my legs apart, like a wide leg. Actually, I'm gonna go into this. I don't know if this is, I think this is warrior. I really don't know. So I just go like this, and then bring my left arm down and right arm over. And this really, it's painful when I stay here for a while, but in my hip, especially like I said, my right hip has some pain and some tightness, so this really helps stretch that out. And my whole side here. Just go back up. I'm going to switch sides. This also helps stretch out my legs. And I like to stay like this and bring my hands back behind me and lock my fingers and then bend forward. This feels so good. And it's important to bend at the waist. And then with every exhale, you can kind of feel your body bend a little more. I like to bring my arms down and just kind of move my legs. And bring my arms back. I can really feel the pull in the back of my legs, my hamstrings. I think that's what they're called. Up my legs. This feels so good on my inner thigh. And to the other side. I just like to keep bending here. I like to move my hands to one side and twist my upper back. I can feel this all the way into my lower calf. Then to the other side. I like to hang my neck here and just kind of move it back and forth. And then I bring my my feet to the center just by slowly moving them heel to toe. And this position is really painful for me right now. It's really like right here in my hips. Like I said, I'm having, and like in my lower legs, or behind my legs, all the way into my lower calves. So I like to bring myself up a little bit, and then exhale, fall forward. Just helps loosen up my muscles. Just to come up slowly. Roll your body up. And just allow your body to kind of relax, especially if it's like painful in that position. For me it is, so this gives my body a chance to kind of just breathe and relax, kind of center myself. I begin to feel very grounded. And then next I'm going to just lift my arms up. I like to stretch them up as high as I can. Make sure my feet are planted firmly on the ground. This really helps stretch out my lower back. And it helps me connect heaven to earth, so spirit to earth. And I like to bend to each side. This really feels good on my hips and my sides. To the other side. And I like to go back. Alright, and then I like to bring my hands down there in like a prayer position. This is where I begin to meditate and repeat affirmations. So the first one, this will be our crown chakra. I don't know if you can see this here. I'm kind of tall. It's like stretching me out. But I like to keep my hands here on my crown chakra. This is the chakra that connects us to our higher self, to the divine, to heaven, to spirit, to God, whatever you like to call it. So I like to keep my arms here and repeat the affirmation, I am limitless. And I love this. I had, I imagined when I closed my eyes, because I like to focus on my third eye chakra when I repeat these affirmations, but I saw a unicorn. And it's funny because, I kind of look like a unicorn. So I notice a lot of kids these days they love unicorns. And unicorns actually represent, they are like mythical, and but they exist in another dimension. And they are a representation of limitlessness. So that's why I call this the unicorn. And that's why I like to repeat the affirmation, I am limitless. This kind of retrains our mind to believe that we are limitless, that we're not. It reminds us, it retrains us that we are infinite, and that we're not just our human limited bodies. We are an infinite soul. So here I like to repeat the affirmation, I am limitless. And I don't say it out loud, I repeat it in my head. Until I begin to feel it. Until I begin to feel limitless. And then I move down to my third eye chakra. And I repeat the affirmation, I am seen. This helps retrain our minds, especially if we have a lot of, like, our wounded inner child. Sometimes we don't feel seen as children, or, we just don't feel seen. So this helps retrain our minds to feel seen. So then you just repeat the affirmation, I am seen, until you begin to feel seen. And then next onto the throat chakra, so I just like to place my pointer fingers on my chin. And here, for the wounded inner child, if that's something if you don't feel heard, or if you have trouble expressing your voice, or if you have trouble feeling heard, I like to repeat the affirmation, I am heard. But you can also, if you have trouble expressing yourself, or expressing communication, or if you have trouble communicating, you repeat the affirmation, I am expressive, or I am communicative, whatever works for you. So you can kind of come up with your own affirmation, whatever you need. And you repeat the affirmation until you begin to feel heard, until you begin to feel expressive. And then down to the heart chakra. And I also like to, when I hover over each chakra with my hands, I like to ask that all energy, all blocked or stagnant energy from whatever chakra, release any blocked or stagnant energy. So that's what I would do. I would say, release any blocked or stagnant energy from my heart chakra. You can also include help me let go of any grief, loss, sadness, despair, anger, resentment. And then repeat the affirmation, I am loved. This one's my favorite because I can really feel it in my heart. I can feel my heart chakra expand as I'm repeating the affirmation, I am loved. This also helps this really helps the inner child. I did a lot of inner child healing, so that's why I mention the inner child a lot. And I just really resonate with children. So this is actually a really good practice to teach your children too. this just helps them, especially like with social media and like comparing themselves, and you know, I feel like everything is heightened for them now. Like, yes, we experienced those things growing up in school, but now it's like on a whole nother level. So it's really important for them to feel seen and feel heard and feel loved when there's so much they're being exposed to. So anyway, next on to the solar plexus chakra, clearing out any blocked or stagnant energy, anything keeping me stuck from being in my power. And then repeat the affirmations. I sometimes flip-flop between the two, or I created one. So you can use I am powerful. This is our power center. This helps us really retrain that we are powerful. And then our own personal power. And then I also, for people that struggle with feeling worthy or valuable, I like to repeat the affirmation, I am valuable, or I am worthy, either one. But I started saying, I am powerfully valuable. I am powerfully valuable. And then just repeat that until you begin to, and once you become really in tune to your chakras, you'll be able to feel them in your body. And you might be able to tell if one's clogged, or so if you feel like one is clogged, then it's important you can just place your hands on that certain chakra, and just by setting the intention that you're releasing any blocked or stagnant energy, cutting any ties to any past, like, because next we're going to move on to the sacral chakra. So for this, I like to put my hands still in the prayer position, but behind my back, in the middle, lower back, because that's about where our sacral chakra is located. And here in our sacral chakra, we can carry a lot of sexual trauma, a lot of, even from past lifetimes, from our ancestors, from, you know, so it's important to clear out this chakra. This is our intimacy, our creativity. This is our connection to the divine and earth. This is our earth energy. It's very passionate. This is where our passion comes from. This is a very fiery energy. We can have a lot of energy, a lot of sexual energy. Sometimes when this chakra is really full and open, we can feel like, you would consider it like feeling like horny or like super excited. And it's important to use that energy to create. That makes you really powerful. So when you use your visualization, so you imagine your best life for yourself, and you're also feeling that like sexual energy, then you're creating it, you know. So this lower chakra is more grounded to earth, whereas our third eye chakra is more connected to our higher selves. So it's like bringing our visions of our higher selves and our dreams down into this sacral chakra, and then we create from there. So you think about like creation, and it's located right there. It has a lot to do with our sexual organs. So anyway, I like to repeat the affirmation. There's a couple you can repeat here. Depends on what you're like struggling with at the time. Like if you're struggling to be creative, if you're struggling with intimacy, there's just a couple affirmations. I like to repeat, I am creative. This helps me get my energy really flowing and helps my creativity start to like really take off, and like I get excited. And then, or if you're struggling with intimacy, or you struggle with receiving intimacy or being intimate, you could repeat like, I am accepting of intimacy, or I am open to intimacy, whatever works for you. And like I said, your higher self will teach you. So just kind of repeat whatever comes to you, whatever works for you. Like, I'm just showing you what I do, but I don't want you to repeat everything that I do. It's more about, because yoga really helps you develop your intuition. It really helps you develop your intuition. It really helps you fall in love with your body. It really helps you get in tune to your senses. And this chakra too, the sacral chakra, is all about our sensuality and connecting with our body and making ourselves feel good. So, like I said, it's just really about developing what works for you. And I'm just kind of showing you what I've done that works for me. So then next, we would just move our hands down behind our back still, right at the base of our spine, so like right at the butt crack. And that's about right where our root chakra is. It's at the bottom of our spine. And this has to do with grounding us to the earth. It makes us feel safe, secure. It also has to do with health and finances. So I like to place my hands here, and I work very closely with Archangel Michael. So I ask him every time I'm here to because this is where we store a lot of fear, and Archangel Michael is very powerful when it comes to releasing fear. He really works with me. He helped me heal my worry addiction and my doubt. So I just call upon him a lot because his energy is very powerful. So I like to call upon him and ask him to release any doubt, any worry, excuse me, any doubt, any worry, any fear, and replace it with confidence and trust. And I can feel the energy being cleared from this chakra. And then I repeat the affirmation, I am safe, or also you could say, I am safe and secure. This helps us just feel really grounded to the earth. So then I like to allow that energy to move down into my hips, down into my butt, into my legs, down all the way into my feet. And then allow the energy to move. Imagine it going into the earth and connecting all the way to the center of the earth. This will make you feel really grounded to the earth. Now imagine the energy coming back up into your feet, up into your legs, up into your hips, into your butt, into the base of your root chakra, up into your sacral chakra, up into your solar plexus chakra, and connecting at your base chakra, or at the base of your heart chakra. So now you're connected from above and below, and then you can begin to feel this energy. Imagine a white light radiating out from your heart until your whole body is covered in this light. This is where the visualization comes in. So imagine your body's covered in this white divine light, and you just feel divine, you feel peaceful. You feel this love radiating out from you. And then now imagine that light is spreading out bigger than the room that you're in. So just imagine a bubble of white light in the room you're in. And now that bubble goes out bigger than the building that you're in. And then out bigger than the city or town that you're in. Imagine this white light covering your whole town. And now out bigger than the state you're in. Imagine your state and it's just covered in this white divine light. And now out bigger than the country that you're in. Imagine your country covered in this white light. Imagine how powerful this is. You're sending love to every being in this country. Feel the love radiate out from your heart. Sending love to your country. And now out bigger than the planet. So imagine this white light and you're hugging the earth. Imagine it bringing right to your chest. And you're sending love to every being on the planet. Alright, now out bigger than the entire solar system. You begin to feel how small you are, but how vast you are. And now out bigger than the entire universe. And as you do this, you notice your problems become smaller and smaller and smaller. And you are beginning to align with your true nature. You may begin to feel like your body doesn't exist. This is you connecting with your soul, with your light. That divine white light is you. You are the universe. And then I like to take a deep breath. And open my eyes and release. Kind of like to move my body, move my hips, move my legs. This kind of helps you wake you up, bring you back to earth. And then I like to bring one leg up, and you can either bring it to your calf, that's about as far as I can go, or you can bring it all the way up to your inner thigh, and bring your arms up. And then I just begin to feel connected. I'm connecting heaven and earth. So I'm taking this energy of love and light, bringing it through all my chakras all the way down into my foot and into the earth. And then you can release that. You can switch off every foot. I don't do one of each, but like each practice you could switch to a different leg. Okay. And I just like to shake it up a little bit and get myself moving, and then this is, I come to the bottom of my mat, I guess. I don't know, some people call it the top, whatever it is, but then I'm going to bend over here again. So I like to move my arms like this. This stretches out my lower back and my hips. I like to move my hips. Kind of shake them. Get them loosened up. Okay, and then I go down into downward dog. So you can move as far away from your legs if you want, or as close as you want, whatever's like comfortable for you. And I just like to like walk it out kind of. This also helps my hips, helps stretches my legs. And I like to bring the leg up. It's really about pushing with your arms, pushing against. Alright, then I like to come into like plank position, and I like to plank for 10 seconds. And I think this is called upward facing dog. But don't allow your hips to touch the ground yet. This really stretches out your hips and your lower back and your stomach, your spine. I like to release my hips to the ground. This is really good for your lower back. It hurts at first. Like it's still really, right now I just know it's stretching out, so I don't really look at it as pain. I like to look over my left shoulder. I can just really feel that in my hips. And I like to come up to tabletop, and this is like one of the first yoga moves I ever did was cow. So the cow pose, you kind of bring your hips forward and your head up. You drop your you drop your stomach, lift your chest, and then into cat. So you bring your stomach in, arch your back. And then back into cow. I do this 3 times. And I just stay as long as I need. You know, yoga is like, it's really important to incorporate your breath into it. But honestly, that part of yoga is really challenging for me. And so, I don't have the breath thing down. That's why I kind of just stay at my own pace, or I stay as long as I need. So I don't really focus on the breath right now. As I begin to develop my practice more and I do it more, I'll be able to incorporate that more. But like I said, right now I'm just kind of doing what feels good for my body. So this is another one of my favorite moves because it's a heart opening move, and I'm personally healing my heart, so they just feel really good. So I believe this is called camel. So you're just gonna like bend at your hips, bring your arms back to grab your heels. And then lay your head back. Lift yourself back up. Like I said, you can stay as long as you need. You can do it multiple times. You like to come forward again and come into, I don't know what it's called honestly, but I just like to put my arms out like this. I think this is like puppy pose actually. I can feel it stretch my upper back and my shoulder blades, and my arms, my shoulders. I just like to tabletop again. I like to move my hips, move my head, my neck. Just kind of helps loosen up. And I like to come into child's pose. This is a really relaxing pose, and I like to bring my arms back, facing up. I'm practicing sitting on my heels, but this is still really painful for my knees. So I'm still working on that, but I like to practice a little bit. I like to come forward and then bring my right leg up. I think this is called pigeon pose, but this really helps my hips. I'm better at one side than the other. I just do it until it feels good. Like this side, it's easier for me to do. It just feels better. Feels easier. Then from here, I just like to sit and come into like a wide leg pose. I just like to stretch from here. Stretch to each leg. The other side. I like to come into, I like to call this butterfly pose. I don't know if that's what it is, but I like to bring my heels in as close to me as possible, as close as I can get. And then just like bend forward and kind of push my legs up, my hips outward. Just really feels good. And I like to bring my legs in and sit like this. I like to just sit like this in this pose because it helps me love myself, and it's like I'm hugging myself. So I can kind of get into like a meditative state when I'm in this pose. I'm really focused. And I just focus on how much I love my body and thanking my body for this time. Thanking my body just for being my body. This is where it helped me like fall in love with my body. So yeah, I just like to sit here and kind of just be with myself. And that's the whole point, is just to like be with yourself, let everything go. You're taking this time for you, taking time to love yourself, care for yourself, tend to your body. Our body is our soul's home. Just as you would take care of your home or want a nice home or want your home clean and well taken care of, you want to take care of your body like it is your home. It's your sacred vessel. That really, changing my perspective to that really helped me change my body image and maybe want to take care of my body and love my body. So this is just like a really good way to be intimate with yourself. See, that's like one of my favorite, just being like that. Alright, then this is like my last part. This is kind of just like, I like to stretch myself out. It's like to lay down. Stretch my arms all the way up. This feels so good on my spine, my stomach, my lower back. Just really helps elongate you. I like to bring my legs in. Up. I switch to the other side. Bring the other leg up. This one is really hard on my hips, but I've been practicing a lot. This is like called Happy Baby. And you can kind of roll back and forth if you want, but I just like to stay here. This position is really painful for my hips. I need to bring it in like this. I need to bring them in like I'm hugging myself again. Lastly, I think this is called Shavasana, if I'm pronouncing that right. So you just allow your body to lay here on the mat. Your palms are facing up. And you begin to breathe slowly and focus on your breath. So inhale, and then with each exhale, say to yourself like you're just releasing any tension from your body, and feel the earth just absorb your tension. Then you'll begin to feel your body relax into the earth, into the ground, into the floor. Just release everything. And let yourself relax and just be here. And you'll begin to feel your body communicate with you. Your body will send you love. It will thank you for this time. It'll send you love, and you can just bask in that love. Alright, and then you can stay there for as long as you want, and then come out of it, and you are done, and that was it. And I hope that was helpful, and I'm sending lots of love and lots of light, and take care of yourself.